Hello and welcome to This Explainer. Look, we all know India's biggest medical entrance exam, the NEET UG, is currently sitting right at the center of an absolute storm. If you're watching this, you're probably feeling the immense stress that this whole situation has caused for students, parents, and educators alike. I mean, it's a lot. Today, we're going to cut straight through the rumors and the panic. We're looking strictly at the facts, the official documents, and the ongoing investigations to understand exactly what happened, what's happening right now, and what actually comes next.
Okay, let's dive right into this. To truly grasp the gravity of the situation, we have to look at the sheer scale of the NEET exam. We're talking about over 2.2 million students directly impacted by this unprecedented cancellation. To put that into perspective, that's literally like putting the entire population of Houston, Texas on pause in a single day. When an event affects a demographic that massive, well, every single detail absolutely matters.
So, here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, NEET 2026, the cancellation. 2, the paper leak investigation. 3, Supreme Court steps in. 4, re-exam rules and refunds. And finally, 5, the future, online exams.
All right, Part 1, NEET 2026, the cancellation.
Now, what's really interesting about the official communication from the National Testing Agency is the timeline. The exam itself was conducted on May 3rd. But fast forward just a bit to May 12th, and the NTA released a press notice officially canceling the whole thing. And the reason? They received inputs from central agencies confirming that the exam's integrity was fundamentally compromised. No hesitation there, the government immediately handed the entire probe over to the CBI for a comprehensive inquiry.
Moving on to Part 2, the paper leak investigation. The timeline of this discovery was incredibly rapid, so May 3rd the exam happens. Just days later, a so-called guest paper starts spreading like wildfire on WhatsApp and Telegram, heavily concentrated around the coaching hub of Sikar. By May 8th, the Rajasthan Police Special Operations Group intercepts this leak and actually starts questioning students, and the overlap with the real exam was just undeniable. This ultimately forced the NTA's hand by May 12th to cancel the exam entirely and bring the CBI into the picture.
Once the CBI took the reins, the map literally lit up. Over in Jaipur, the SOG detained an alleged mastermind named Manish, along with 14 others tied to the money trail. Meanwhile, the CBI zeroed right in on the Biswal family, arresting Dinesh, Mangulal, and Vikas. The core allegation here is that Dinesh procured the material and traveled all the way to Sikar just to hand it to his minor son. And from there, the dragnet stretched across the entire country. We saw facilitators Yash Yadav and Shubham Karnar arrested in Gurgaon and Nashik, plus a career counselor nabbed alongside 4 aspirants over in Dehradun.
But get this, it wasn't just Rajasthan. A whistleblower, who was actually a faculty member in Sikar, emailed the NTA directly about this guest paper. But an even more startling discovery happened down in Maharashtra. A parent in Latur filed a police complaint after a private coaching institute's mock test contained a staggering 42 questions that matched the actual NEET paper. 42! These localized glaring anomalies are really what ultimately brought down a massive national examination.
Which brings us to Part 3, Supreme Court steps in.
Almost immediately following the cancellation, the Federation of All India Medical Association, or FIMA, filed a public interest litigation in the Supreme Court. They're alleging a massive systemic failure by the NTA. And their demands? They are highly specific. They want a re-NEET conducted under strict judicial supervision. They're calling for the complete restructuring or even replacement of the NTA, mandatory digital locking for all future question papers, and a detailed CBI status report within 4 weeks. So now, the highest court in the land is weighing these massive systemic changes.
All right, Part 4, re-exam rules and refunds.
So the crucial point here is that the NTA is really aiming for a seamless administrative transition, mainly to minimize student anxiety. Step 1, and this is a big relief, no new registration is required. Step 2, your existing candidate data and the exam centers you previously selected will automatically carry forward. And Step 3, the registration fees you already paid for that May exam, those will be fully refunded using the NTA's internal resources.
Honestly, the absolute most critical advice from experts right now is this: disregard the rumor mill on social media. It's just noise. The official re-exam dates and your reissued admit cards will be published in one place and one place only, and that's on neet.nta.ac.in. So use this pause strategically. Dive back into those high-weightage topics like human physiology, genetics, and optics. Try your best not to let the administrative chaos disrupt your flow, and just wait calmly for the official schedule.
And that leads us to Part 5, the future,
online exams?
You know, a disruption of this magnitude has really forced the government to look way beyond just immediate fixes. The vital question everyone is asking now is, will NEET move completely online? Both the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health are actively evaluating a major shift to a computer-based test, or CBT, for 2026. Right now, there's a 7-member government panel actively gathering feedback from students and parents to figure out if this digital leap is actually feasible.
Let's see how this builds, because the idea of a digital NEET isn't entirely new. The exam was introduced offline back in 2013, and believe it or not, an online mode was actually proposed in 2018, but it got withdrawn after objections from the health ministry. Then, the 2020 pandemic forced this massive global shift in digital testing, and now, following this unprecedented leak, a CBT mode is firmly back on the table. The government is looking really closely at exams like JEE Main and CUIT, which are already successfully testing millions of students fully online.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact dilemma the government panel is currently weighing, the massive pros and cons. On one hand, a computer-based test offers vastly enhanced security through digital locking, which literally eliminates physical paper leaks entirely, while also allowing for real-time monitoring and getting rid of OMR evaluation errors. But, on the other hand, the hurdles are monumental. Securing the computer infrastructure for over 2.2 million students to take an exam simultaneously, that is incredibly difficult. Plus, there are some very real, deep concerns about the digital divide putting rural candidates at a disadvantage, not to mention that running multiple shifts would require a highly complex score normalization process.
Which leaves us with this final thought. As millions of dedicated students await their official re-exam dates, we really have to ask, will the push for impenetrable digital security ultimately overcome the vast logistical hurdles of such a diverse nation? It's a critical tension between technological safety and nationwide accessibility, and it's one that could redefine medical testing in India forever. For now, keep your focus, trust only official sources, and keep studying. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.